My goal for this entire film is for me to look into the lens.
You can't tell, but I'm looking in the lens and look you in the eye. I have such a hard time looking into the camera. And I'm not sure if it's because I'm such an introverted person, but when I am in person, I feel like I can look into people's eyes no problem. But the moment I get in front of the camera, I just start to feel like a deer in headlights, and I just forget everything I'm saying or what I want to say, or I just blank out. Sometimes I feel like that's kind of like how a lot of us creators start off, just feeling a little awkward in front of the camera because we're not used to having a camera in our face all the time. I started off wanting to have a faceless channel. Where I can just post in anonymity, until I realized just how valuable having that human connection is, and why there's so much power in looking into the camera and having an audience that can see a real person. I can't just look away every time I feel uncomfortable. So I told myself I'm going to spend all day and all night practicing. I am looking at you, and I am being attentive. But like, why did I even bother starting a YouTube channel? I feel like anyone can do a YouTube channel. And I think we all have different motivations. Some people do it strictly for money and business. Other people do it for a creative outlet and expression. Some people do it to practice their skill sets. I think I had a lot of those different motivations, mainly practicing my skill sets, because I had always been into photography, but never really had a chance to practice just because I was always on go. In college, I and then I was working all the time. So I never really had a chance to truly dive into photography as a career. And as time progressed, especially social media, the rise of videography, especially having that under your belt, I felt was just a really valuable tool. So to me, content creation is more than just me coming up with random stuff to talk about, but it's really me having that creative outlet, expression, and practicing some of these skill sets. There are so many different things that I've learned in these 9 months of content creation. There are so many different skill sets that I think content creators have that I maybe not have always valued and appreciated until I became a content creator myself. And one of those things I would say is storytelling, the ability to readily communicate ideas and feelings. There's also the editing aspect and production. Well, I guess you can wrap it all in one. So with production, there's storytelling, storyboarding, coming up with your shot list, coming up with your various ideas in how you plan to film everything. And then there's the actual filming. And then there's the post-production where we're doing the clips, we're putting and editing everything. We're just doing a ton of editing, and I think I'm so ready to dig into my shrimp tempura. As time progressed on this vlog, I learned the value of really putting more and more time and attention into both pre and post production. I think a lot of people spend all their time and energy on post production, but really pre-production is where it's at, in my opinion. Pre-production is where it's at. And I think people undervalue pre-production because they just think, oh, if I handle everything in post and edit everything in post, we're not going to have a problem. We're going to have a great video. People are going to like it. They're going to feel engaged. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but if your story isn't good, if your script isn't good, if Still piping hot and steaming.
your title and thumbnail isn't good, and you're not thinking through the concept of what you are about to film,
Your overall quality and what you plan to edit may not be all there. For some people, that's fine. They don't really care if people are paying attention to everything that they're doing. And, you know, for some people, they really like unedited, unfiltered videos. But I think the way that society is trending, especially social media, this is good, guys. There's a couple different things. And some of those things occurred while I wasn't fully paying attention to all of the changes with social media, but particularly with YouTube. When YouTube first started off, creators were really just super raw, and then it got to a point where people became like Mr. Beast and started to be super overly produced, what have you. I think now that we're heading into 2025, we're starting to see that creators who have not just the storytelling and post-production down, but I think we're starting to see a more naturalized type of production where things aren't always super zippy to get audience attention. Primarily because I think we're in a new period and a new phase of society at large. What I like is that we're starting to enter a different phase in social media, primarily because AI and all of these artificial models and just the fakery of it all. I think many of us are really looking to have that human connection and feel like the people that we are following are real people, people like us, people that have experienced hardship and just isn't somebody by the machine like Hollywood. And I find that to be very exciting, that we've reached this phase of idolism to like enjoying regular everyday people and seeing the beauty in everyday life. Yappy, 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 in Monolith. This is a shrimp tempura from Costco. Just what's on dinner for tonight. I'm just glad that social media is getting back to realism. I feel like if you're wanting to improve your skills, you should just become a content creator. What do you have to lose? And I promise you, your family and friends won't care. If you're just starting out, you can literally learn everything from the ground up. How is that a bad thing? I feel like the more that you content create, the more you learn about yourself. I learned that I'm very awkward in front of the camera. Now look, this entire video, I'm forcing myself to stare in the lens and give you all eye contact. But I have to start somewhere, right? We all have to start somewhere, right? People don't care. So be you. Try something new. Be you. For most content creators, people really aren't going to watch your first videos. So make all the mistakes you can right now. Enjoy the process. Give yourself at least one new thing to learn and try to implement in your next video. How can you improve if you don't ever start? I'm just saying, you have to start somewhere. And it's okay. We all have our own starting points. Who's to say that people won't like your content? Who's to say that people won't resonate with you? Everyone has something in common with someone. There's like 8 billion people in the world. Why can't you have your own audience? I think everyone has the capability of being successful. We just have to channel our energies into the right place. And I think the more positivity we spread, the better. I kind of wish creators didn't delete their first videos, especially the ones who got big over time. Just because it kind of gives all of us an opportunity to learn where they came from and see their progression over time. I still have all of my first videos. I'm still in year 1. I am 9 months in, and I think that there's value in having the progression shown. My first 4K video I actually am pretty proud of because I spent a lot of time really trying to learn and practice the editing aspect of things, including doing everything from color grading and sound design, as well as some text overlays and motion graphics. And I think as long as you compartmentalize the different parts that you would like to learn, you'll be fine. Just take things day by day, step by step. You don't have to know everything today, right now, in this moment, just to get started. So get started. Life isn't about knowing everything. As with all things in life, you don't have to have it all figured out. A lot of us are just figuring it out as we go. Life sends us in all kinds of crazy loops and roller coasters of a ride. With each milestone, our lives change. And it's okay for that to happen. It's okay for us to not have everything figured out. It's okay for us to fall flat on our face. Some of us are our own worst critics. So maybe we should give ourselves grace. Allow ourselves to make mistakes. If we're not letting ourselves make mistakes, then no one else will. Mistakes are where all the learnings happen. I say the more mistakes you make, the more learnings you get. As long as you try to learn from your mistakes and don't repeat them hundreds and thousands of times over. You should always find a way to pull a lesson out of your failures and what does and doesn't work. How can you be a better photographer if you don't ever pick up your camera and start shooting? How can you be a cinematographer or videographer if you don't ever hit record? We all have to start somewhere. If you're content creating, especially for YouTube, you're learning how to do so many different skills just in the process of trying to maintain your channel. There's so many skill sets that you can learn from content creation, especially the art of it all. You learn graphic design from thumbnails. You learn how to film and videography. You'll learn how to storytell, how to edit, sound design, color grading, even writing descriptions for SEO. There's a lot to learn. You don't have to be a professional artist to be on YouTube and to be successful. But you can certainly learn the skills to improve. And what I love about Life of Riza is she makes it look so easy, but there's so much behind the scenes. And she openly tells us that she has been working on film crews, and that's how she learned these different skill sets. But for the rest of us who haven't had that opportunity to work on other crews, filming ourselves and using the footage to practice helps. Being timid and shy shouldn't be a limiting factor for you to be successful. I think everyone out there just has to find their people and their audience that will love their authenticity and their quirks because they recognize that maybe they have similar traits within them. So get to filming. Start shooting. Film as many angles as you can. Experiment. Try as many things as you can. See what works, see what doesn't. You'll be pleasantly surprised several videos in just how much all that practice has helped you. I think I saw a noticeable difference in the first video that I did. And I did that as the makeup video. I think content creation can feel overwhelming. But if you just take things step by step and say, okay, well, this week I want to learn how to do this kind of edit. This week I want to learn how to do sound effects. This week I want to learn how to do video effects. This week I want to learn 3D animation and overlays. As long as you're constantly pushing yourself to try to learn something new, I don't think that there's any con or negative to doing that. And as all of us continue to practice, grow, and evolve, that's the only way we'll continue to learn and grow. And many of us are starting to learn and grow in front of the world through content creation. But showing everyone where we started, even if our first videos were crap, it gives hope for people. And why wouldn't you want to give hope to people and show them that it's possible for them if you're able to do it? Most content creators that are super huge now, they've been doing it for 5 to 8 years. And those are the content creators who didn't have a team, who doesn't have big corporate paying for them to be that content creator. It's just real individuals filming from the comfort of their homes to filming out in nature. Just everyday people winning. That can be you. Why not? If I could leave this world with one takeaway, it's that we should encourage one another to pursue our dreams and to do better. We should encourage people to do things that are positive, that enriches their soul. Art is one of them. It has a way of touching everyone in different ways and giving everyone different interpretations of the meaning behind it all. Create. Tell me what's holding you back. I'd love to hear in the comments. See ya.